It's now another 10%. What it shows is I actually don't think it's a wise thing to sell your stocks now because you have cemented a loss. I mean, you can't get that money back. And unless you believe that over the next 5 years there will not be a recovery, I don't know why people sell their stocks now. But the fact is they are, and it's the obvious statement of the economy is being crashed intentionally all over the Western world. And it may be the thing to do. I acknowledge that. And it may be an overreaction. I tend toward the overreaction. The schools closure is clearly an overreaction. The CDC itself has issued a memo that washing your hands is more effective than closing schools. That is not widely. It's not widely. I'm looking for the exact quote, but it is not widely. It was the last page of all of the pages. You know that there is a law in life that what you're looking for is at the bottom. But there's part 2 to that law that nobody knows. If you start at the bottom, it's at the top. Get it? That's part 2 of that law. Listen to this. Available modeling shows that other mitigation efforts, e.g. hand washing, home isolation, have more impact on both the spread of disease and health care measures. In other countries, those places who closed school, e.g. Hong Kong, have not had more success in reducing spread than those that did not. This is from the CDC, e.g. Singapore. Why are schools closed? You know what the price paid for school closings is? It's enormous. It's just enormous. Now, I think that schools have become indoctrination mills, so I should actually celebrate it. There's less time for kids to be told that there is no such thing as binary gender. They won't be told that the United States is an S-hole country founded in 1619 rather than 1776, because that's when the first slaves came, and that the Revolutionary War, as the New York Times reports and goes into 3,500 schools, revolted against Britain solely in order to keep slavery. That's right. That's what they teach. So I should actually celebrate it. But I want to just call it as I see it. It is idiocy to close the schools. The havoc in family life with two parents working as the norm. And as is pointed out, what if the mom is in health care? What does she do? Meanwhile, you'll have vast numbers, millions of bored kids. You think they're going to stay home and teach themselves Mozart sonatas? I don't. It's already the college kids, as reported, are just partying. Why not? Anyway, I feel bad for kids. I do. I feel bad. I truly do. I've said this before this. Your future is death, the global warming, right? Existential threat to humanity. Your past is despicable. You're an American. The founders were awful human beings. Now your present is death, too. I don't blame them for just partying. Drink and be merry, for tomorrow you may die. That should be the motto of this generation, because of the crap fed into them by the indoctrinators. Yep. So what'd you think of that? Even the CDC is not for school closing. So why are politicians doing it? Because what do you have to lose? right? What do you have to lose? One kid gets the virus, or one teacher gets the virus, and you look like Frankenstein. Yes. All right, let's go to some of your calls here. Howard in Pittsburgh, the famous Howard of Pittsburgh, I might add. Hi.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dennis, I've been thinking, like you, trying to think of this logically, and I look back to the most recent incident like this, which was in '09, the H1N1 swine flu. And if what I've read has been accurate, 60 million people were infected, including my spouse. 12,500 passed, and those numbers dwarf, of course, what we see so far, even on a worldwide scale.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to wrap my head around. I don't remember, there was some panic, minuscule.
Well, it was after 1,000 deaths that President Obama declared an emergency.
Right, it was like a year later almost, wasn't it?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know the dating. I'm just telling you the number. Not what is the number now? 70? And yeah. he waited, and I'm not blaming him, by the way, but he waited till 1,000.
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand what's changed.
I'm trying to understand it too, Howard. That's the gist of my show. I am trying to understand it too. See, the people though that advocate these measures, they'll never ever be shown to have been wrong. If the pandemic kills millions, they were right. If it kills thousands, they were right, because they had only killed thousands because people were quarantined. There is no way that they could ever be shown to have been wrong. I'm not saying they are. I'm just telling you, though, it is an amazing thing, isn't it? There's no way that will ever be shown that they could have been wrong. In the meantime, the havoc in people's lives, that's very real. The death rate is modeled. The collapse of your family income rate is not a model. That's a real thing. What are all the waiters doing in the big cities of America? What are they doing? Or in the whole state of Ohio? You have a Republican governor, and he's closed all restaurants. How many people have died in Ohio when he did that? 3? This is unprecedented, by the way. This is the response. It may be accurate, but it is unprecedented in the history of the world. And so let me take a call that argues that. Lindsay in San Diego, hi.
Oh, hi, Dennis.
Hi.
I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
My point was you were saying that the numbers from China and Iran might not be alarming, but they did implement really strict and extreme measures to control it. And this is something I guess we won't know, but if they hadn't, perhaps the numbers would be alarming.
Right, you're right. I fully acknowledge that. And that's why there's no way to know. I can only say that this has never been done before with contagious viruses, and they died out. I don't know why this why this one would have been unique in the history of viruses.
I feel like this one, sorry, feel is the wrong word, but isn't it so that this one is requiring more hospitalizations, even if...
Okay, the answer, I can answer that. I have done so much reading on this. I have an answer for you. We don't know because we have no idea how many people are carrying the virus.
Sure.
That's why the best thing we could do is grab 5,000 people off the street, test them, total random, anywhere in America, and extrapolate from that how many people are carrying it and they're asymptomatic. Thanks, Lindsay. It's a pleasure to talk to you.